going on, y'all? So it's here, let me straighten this camera really quick. So it's a new camera day. I'm shooting on a Canon EOS R6, and we also have a Canon EOS R. I've got that here in the bag. I haven't done like a updated gear thing in a long time, which that's not what this is, but just to let you know, we're basically shooting Canon now, so Canon EOS R and an R6. But in the action camera realm, I've been using this DJI Osmo Action. You can get these on Amazon for like 200 bucks now because the replacement just came out. It's this tiny little thing, and it's actually two pieces. This is the camera by itself. So when you hold up the old Osmo Action to the new Osmo Action, you can see it's very, very small. It's just this little cube. And I don't know if you noticed, but when I took it off of the little tripod thing, it's magnetic. And it's crazy because you don't have to use the whole camera. You can just use the camera module. There's a screen on the back, and then it's a camera module. And it's got some other mounting things, and it's got a lanyard to go on and all that kind of stuff. And then this, I bought the kit with the screen, so there's two different ones. There's one that's just a battery that gives you more extended battery life as well as more SD card, because there's internal storage on the camera head itself, and then there is SD card memory that can be put into this extra module. So now I have a screen towards me and a screen on the back of the camera. So now you have two screens, similar to what this has and what the new GoPro has, but much, much better. I just think it's neat because this little module is magnetic. You can stick it places, you can do various things with mounting, and I think it's gonna make it more flexible for shooting. So instead of getting all into the specs and doing an unboxing and all of that kind of stuff, what I was thinking I would do is just use it over the next couple of days in a few different applications, see if I can incorporate it into my normal shooting schedule and what we normally shoot. Maybe where this little tiny thing is a whole lot less complicated and huge than this whole thing right here. By the way, that shot is shot on this little camera. Yeah, so we'll just see if this camera ends up being as convenient and easy and small to pack and etc. as it is purported to be. I'm not gonna get all spec nerdy. Let's just try to use it. Okay, so I'm just gonna butt in here. I just took the footage off of the camera, so I'm still shooting on the camera. I took the footage off from cutting up stuff for breakfast and some of the pickup winding stuff. And there's a couple of things that are interesting that you should know. One, you can put this thing a lot of places. Obviously, there's some shots that you could not get with any other camera. The thing on the side of the knife, some other stuff. My pickup winder is metal, so I could stick it to it. There's shots you just can't get except with this thing. As far as importing it into the computer, it was super simple. You just plug it in, you turn the camera on, and you select file transfer, and then it shows up as two different things. So internal memory to the top camera and SD card to the bottom. There will be two little drives on your screen, and you just import the footage. Super simple. Now, as far as how the footage actually looks, this is just a super small file sample. However, what I will say is, even though the footage is a lot better than a lot of cameras of this size, it's still a small sensor, so lighting makes a difference. Obviously, you could see when I was making coffee this morning, the light was very, very low. It was a little bit grainy. And also, I don't know if you noticed, but the minimum focus distance. I want to look up the minimum focus distance, and next time I check in with you, I'll let you know what that is, because I feel like I was a little too close sometimes, and it was a little blurry. So I think there's a minimum focus distance that we need to know. So we'll figure that out. But lighting is everything with these little cameras. Obviously, that still applies. All right, let's go shoot some more stuff. So the Osmo Action, or whatever it's called, Action 2? Yeah, that's what it's called. The Action 2. It's pretty killer. Online, if you look at stuff in videos and whatever, you're going to see a lot of things about it overheating, about it getting hot, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it gets warm. When you're shooting 4K, or when you're shooting 4K 120 frames a second slow-mo, which I haven't really messed with, but I don't use slow-mo that much, it gets warm. However, when you're using it in normal real life, so I shoot with a Canon EOS R6 and a Canon EOS R, and then this camera is used as parts of elements in amongst another shoot. So I'm not shooting with it for hours at a time. It never overheated on me once. Because, you know, you're making a 4 or 5 minute shot, this and that. Now, if you're the kind of person that is going to take this camera and like let it run for a long time, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, I think you may have issues with overheating. But most people don't use it like that. Most people, even when vlogging and stuff, you just turn the camera on, you use it for a few seconds, you take a couple of shots, you turn it back off, you go to the next spot, whatever. This right here in the car, talking to it, is the only time I personally would ever use it for any period of time. Like this, talking in the car this way. Also, microphone-wise, you can hear what it sounds like. On the intro to this video, that was my Rode NTG on my R6. Obviously, it sounds better. So it's an Action camera microphone, but I will say it's the best one I've ever heard. It's very, very, very good. Now, if we put the other QB thing on there, this dude, it will sound even better. So now this is with the QB thing, the screen on top of the camera unit. So now we've got all the microphones, and you can hear that it sounds different. So to close this off, I'm gonna say, if you're gonna use this thing for long shots, really long shots, then maybe you might want to hang on until they get some firmware things to handle the heat. I don't know if they ever will, because it's just so small. If you're going to use it like a normal person, 30 seconds at a time, minute at a time, it's probably awesome. Stabilization is great. Battery life is great. Just button in here while I'm editing this. So the first clip you saw in the Jeep was with just the little camera module itself, and then I attached the bottom screen that's supposed to give you more microphones. I don't know if you noticed, but you could hear it trying to decide which microphones to use, which is a little bit weird. I think it must be from the rumble of the road and trying to figure out which direction the sound was coming from. That was a little weird. I did not see that until I started editing. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's a problem, or I don't know if that was just that one situation. I just wanted to mention it. Okay, back to the video. File management is great. The color is great. Obviously it doesn't have as much dynamic range as my DSLRs, but it's not supposed to. I'm trying to think of anything else I can think of. It's awesome. It works really good, and there are shots that you cannot get with other cameras that you can get with this. Therefore, I think it's totally worth it. Do you need the full boat one with both screens? I like it because of the way I use the camera, but you may not need it. You may not need it. You could probably go for, I'll put links below to both versions. You can compare the price, decide if you need 2 screens or not. I actually like it, so I think it was worth it for me. Anyway, there you go. There's a link in the description to all of the cameras that we have, all of our gear, so you know what we're using it for, all that kind of stuff. Please check out those links. They do help out the channel a little bit. I'll leave a link to this camera in the video description. If you use that link, it helps out the channel a little bit. I do appreciate it. And share this video, because it's not normal. It's not like the normal action review thing like everybody else is doing. So, yeah. Thanks for hanging out, and I guess we'll see you in the next video.